Yo, welcome to another video, guys. Today we're going to talk about breaking into RTA. I'm going to give you guys 7 tips that's going to help you improve your RTA experience or help you get into RTA if you are a beginner. Now, some of these are very common knowledge, but not everyone is applying them. You guys are putting some of these off. Maybe you just I don't know, you're not taking RTA seriously, but this is to help you have more success in RTA. So we've got 7 tips, and right away we're going to get going. Number 1, all right, for example, number 1 is your first pick. Guys, I can't stress how important that picking correctly with your first pick, how important it is, really. If you're going to cleave, obviously, if you have a set cleave, it really depends. You want to pick units that could be contested, right? If your cleave depends on you having Bastet and or Draco, for example, obviously you want to probably take the Bastet right away so your opponent doesn't take it. But if you are playing a counter pick kind of comp where you want to counter pick your opponent, then you don't want to show your hand. For example, you don't want to start off with first pick in a Leo. Why is that? You're basically telling your opponent you have no speed, and they will be able to just maybe draft units that turn cycle, like a Vertihile, a Juno, a Ciara, a Diana, things that are going to punish that Leo, and you've kind of already lost sometimes. Another example is, say you want a Gemini cleave like I do. Obviously, I don't want to open with a Gemini cleave, right? What I do is I open with a Ciara. A Ciara allows me to be able to go into whatever else kind of comp I need if I need to pivot out. If they take my units, I need to be able to just get away from my cleave in order to have a chance to win, or if it's clear that they're going to outspeed me, things like that. But if I show them a Gemini, same thing, they can drop the Water Ryu, which counters me, the Hay Gang, the Vertihile. So your first pick, for the most part, should be things that kind of don't show your hand. Hopefully that makes sense. Or if you have a set comp, then obviously you want to pick the units that are most likely contested. If you want to control turn 1 kind of comp, you know how contested Water Ryu is, so you probably want to open with Water Ryu so they don't steal it, right? Now, guys, I will be doing a video on the top first picks in RTA, so if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and while you're there, make sure you hit that like button. All right, number 2. So number 2, guys, is speed tuning, and I can't stress enough how important this speed tuning is. I'll show you guys an example. Here, my Gemini. Now, guys, I'm not. I run really fast. I've been farming giants forever, right? That's all you need to know. I'm going to show you how tight my speed tuning is. So I have the Barbara running at 321, followed by the Gemini at 219. The reason that they're so close is because sometimes one or the other is going to get banned, right? So if one or the other is going to get banned, I need 2 really fast units that I can outspeed with. And then they're usually followed by the Shiho, who is running at 312 speed, followed by the Gani, who's running at 311. So between that, it allows me to either have the boost from the Barbara or the pushback from the Gani, so that I can then draft whatever. And I open with Ciara, and she's on Violent, so that gives my team a whole turn. But you see how tight the speed tuning is. And then on top of that, we've also got an Ethna that's running at 313. So it's that tight speed tuning. Obviously, I'm really fast. That's my style of gameplay. But it's very important, if you're taking turn 2, you need to have your units within 1 to, I would say, 4 speed should be about the max. And if you're running a speed lead, make sure that the speed lead is not messing up your speed tuning. You obviously need your cleansers, your strippers ahead of everything else, your buffers ahead of your damage dealers, so on and so forth. But just tighten your speed tuning, guys. For example, which this will segue into the next one. Like, it makes no sense for me to pick, for example, the Barbara running at 320 and then the Kali that's running at 158. There's no way the Barbara's going to give them the Kali a turn next, right? They're going to cut in between, right? And you might be wondering, well, why do you have Akali so slow? We'll get to that. But I mean, that makes sense, right? You don't want to get cut. You want all 4 of your units moving one after the other. That is just extremely important. And it doesn't matter what speeds you run at. That's what you want. Make sure your speed tuning is tight, guys. Tighten up that speed tuning. Number three, guys, and this, there's really no way for me to show you except show you, I guess. You'll notice everything I run, aside from the Kali, because I just 2-8 her, but everything skilled up. Guys, I can't express how important it is to only run units that are skilled up. I don't care if you have the craziest meta units. If they're not skilled up, I guarantee you, you're going to lose. All of this, the extra damage here, and more importantly, the harmful effect rates or the cooldown down on your skills is of utmost importance. You will lose matches, I guarantee you, because your Okeanos, for example, did not have his cooldown back on his skill 3. He didn't have his cooldown back yet because he's not skilled up. Say whoever, it doesn't really matter. It could be her. I've played on other accounts and viewer accounts where units are not skilled up, and it cost me a match because I'm expecting the cooldown to be ready and it's not because it's not skilled up. So definitely, I don't care how meta they are, try your best to use skilled up units. All right. Number 4, guys, and this, man, I also, like I said, all of these are very, very important. You have to max. What do I mean by max? Max everything, all right? Max everything. Max your artifacts. Max your slot 1s. Max your slot 3s. Max your slot 5s. I guarantee you, you will lose matches because your slot 1 was not maxed and you left the unit at 1 HP. And that allowed whatever, the Lulu, the Fran, whoever, to heal them. That maybe allowed them to get that extra turn. And even though they had already used their skills, guess what? Violent is a thing. They violent procced. They violent procced right into their better skill, their skill 3, their skill 2, whatever, and that flipped the match because you didn't max your skill 1. I'm sorry, you didn't max your slots 1 on your runes. Or same thing, there's a lot of times where they'll drop you and you never know. Had you had your slot 3 and 5 max, you may have lived with 1 HP and you would have been able to flip the tables on them. So guys, obviously, man, and if you're not maxing your slot 2, 4, 6, then you probably shouldn't be doing RTA. Obviously, max those as well. And again, guys, artifacts, man, I can't stress enough. Farm proper artifacts. Your life will be so much easier. If you are not farming artifacts and you're not maxing them, you're basically already going in with a handicap. You're basically bringing like a handgun into a machine gun fight if you don't have your artifacts, proper artifacts and max. You really just, I really want to drive home that point. I really do believe this statement that I'm about to say. I think proper, and the keyword is proper. Proper artifacts on your units can be the difference between a whole rank. So if you are fighter 3, it could be your artifacts that are holding you back from C1. If you are looking to get into fighter, if you're in challenger, it's probably your artifacts that are holding you back. Get some artifacts, get proper artifacts, and I guarantee you, you'll probably get a whole rank higher at the end of the season if your whole monster box is properly artifacted. Number 5, guys, you need to be able to pivot. So like I said, I have my Gemini Cleave team, right? My Gemini Cleave Control Snipe team. It's kind of a variation of everything, right? It's not necessarily a cleave, but pivots, guys. You need to be able to identify what your opponent is doing and switch out. So we'll take a look at this draft here. For example, he opened with Oki. I come back with Ciara and Gani. Again, Ciara and Gani are going back to the first point, your first picks. I can move from here to whatever I need. That's why I open with Ciara and Gani. And then he drops Lulu and Leo. Okay, Leo, what does that tell me? That tells me he is playing with no speed, right? Instead of me with 3 picks in saying, okay, you know what, I have to ban the Leo because the Leo is a big counter to my Gemini. and obviously the Barbara too, right? So instead of me saying, oh my God, I have to, that's it, I got to ban the Leo no matter what, then no, you know what? I can pivot. So what do? I pivot right out. What do I do? That's where the Kali comes in. I draft the Kali and I draft the Covenant. You notice they had basically 0 speed, and that's my pivots. Those are my Leo pivots. I'm able to one-shot whatever I want with them. They're high damage because they're at 0 speed. And then I see what else he's got. I'm banning the Leica once his draft is full. So I drop down the Diana, which is another great Leo counter because I can just turn cycle like nothing on him. It's very, very nice. And again, being able to pivot, guys, make sure that you learn how to pivot out of your first picks into whatever you need. And this, guys, is going to come obviously with the more you play. So how do you learn how to pivot or just get better in general? So that leads me to number 6, and that's watch your replays, guys. Watch your replays. Here, we'll take a look at a loss here. We'll pick this one. So this is what I do. I don't know this one, but I'm gonna analyze this loss. So here I open with Ciara, right? He comes out, okay, Fran and Monkey. Normally I can deal with this. And then he goes Hathor, Vigor. I go Gemini, and I pick Oki because he was showing double wind. I didn't want to pick water, right? So I went with Oki. So then I watch it. I actually don't remember even losing this, but I watch it and I say, okay, where did I go wrong? Did I make any mistakes? Now that I'm looking at it, this here, that was just unfortunate. I couldn't strip the will rune off the monkey, so I couldn't stun him, and you can see here, he goes ham on me. Okay, that's out of my control. I can't do anything about that. He gets a nice violent proc there to finish my Ciara, and he keeps procking, right? So, okay, that proc was huge. That bomb got cleansed. Could I have detonated it? Probably. I'm not expecting it to violent proc, obviously. I was probably expecting it to kill. So maybe in the future, I do detonate that bomb. Maybe I detonate the bomb, right? Maybe I banned wrong. Maybe the ban was not the Hathor. Maybe the ban was indeed the Fran. Because the Fran was the cleanser, right? But it all came down to really the monkey just going ham on me. And I don't really think I did much wrong. Maybe not detonating was an issue. So watch your replays, guys. Analyze your losses. Watch why you lost. What could you have done different? Obviously here, had I banned the Fran, it may have worked out different, but then he would have had a resist lead, so it could have, there's really no way to know if I actually made a big mistake here or not. On the ban, but a lot of the times you will see clearly after watching your replays, your own fights, when you lose, analyze them, watch them, and sometimes there's going to be some clear mistakes that you're like, oh man, why the F did I do that? Or why did I target this? Why did I reset that? Why didn't I kill this? Why did I ban that? This was the obvious ban. Because the more you play, the more times you're going to see those same scenarios and learn from that, guys. I can't stress enough how much I myself have learned from actually just rewatching my replays, analyzing them, because those scenarios come up plenty. They come up plenty. And guys, the last one, it's really just that leads me in, guys. Just practice. Actually fucking play and just play. Try your best. Obviously losing sucks, right? But you can see here, I've already done 682 wings. 682 wings. My win rate's not even that great, and I'm Guardian. So the more you play, guys, it's all about experience, right? It's all about experience. The more you play, the more scenarios you're going to see, the more that you're going to see how your teams get countered, or maybe the more you play, the more things you can come up with to counter whatever you're struggling with. I do this a lot. Sometimes I want to test something, I just go in here. It's kind of full here. Oh, never mind, we got in. But yeah, unfortunately, you do find a lot of like higher ranked players, and there's not that many places for you to test some stuff. But I've got 538 wins here. I'm not in here all that often, but I am here sometimes. Okay, so I do also have another idea, guys. I am about to create a room C1 and below. Guys, this is just for you guys. I don't know if this will take off or not, but this is so that you guys can practice. So it is up to you to find this room, hit that like, and we'll leave it normal battle. Obviously no password, and boom, it is created. So what you do is you hit that like button on here, guys. It's created. If it gets enough likes, it will stay on there. And now you guys will have a place to practice C1 and below. Hopefully, you know, there's always going to be that one asshole who's going to jump in there, right? There's always going to be that one asshole who's going to jump in there. But go ahead, smash the like button on this room. It's really me just trying to help you guys. I know how hard it is. I do RTA optimizations on fighter accounts, and if I want to test something, I have to go into the noob room, right? So it would be amazing if I could go into a C1 and below room, right? C1 and below room would be great. So there you go. That's obviously up to you. I'll leave it up to the community. If it gets enough likes, it'll stay up there. It'll stay up there forever. So that's up to you guys, and that's it. Those are my tips. Even guys, if you can spread the word, make sure you tell your guilds to just slap that like button on this room so that it can gain some traction and you guys have a place to practice fighting comps and not necessarily going in blind into ranked matches and getting your ass kicked. That's how important practice is, guys. I'm actually just created a room because I want you guys to practice, because practice, they say practice makes perfect. Now in RTA, there's no such thing as perfect because there's violent runes, there's accuracy and resistance checks. So it'll never be perfect, right? But the more you practice, guys, I guarantee you will get better. So there you have it, guys. Those are your 7 tips on how to improve and or break into RTA. If you didn't know, now you know. You know.
Yeah.